This has to do with a piece of property here in St. Joseph County that has cattle on it. There's no lease. I'm not sure, we're not trying to pound a square peg into a round hole. But here we are. Ms. Hines, what's the status here today?
I talked to Mr. Musiak last week. He told me that he would forward to me a plan to have all the property removed. I even sent him an email at 10:19 and 11:14 to give him my email address. Have not heard from him. My client has not heard from him, and all his property and animals, cattle are still on my client's land. And we're asking for a judgment of possession.
Mr. Musiak, what's your plan?
The email was sent to Council Hines last night detailing my losses or what I'm looking for in compensation while renting the land. I don't know if you could check your email by phone. You may see it, but it did not come back to me as unreturned, so I'm assuming it was delivered. So it details what I'm looking for in compensation for losses, and I still intend to remove the cattle from the property. I did get pictures from Mr. Lugie of one picture of every animal, and I'll have to visit the property myself because he knows I need a profile from each side and a frontal in order for me to post these animals for sale. And if he cannot provide that level of detail, I'm happy to make the trip out. I am concerned that one of the pictures showed a calf in a condition that I would report to animal control in St. Joe County for neglect because of the state of let's call it the manure on the back end of the calf was something that put the calf's life at risk. So
you're going to report yourself to the animal control for not caring for your animals?
Yeah.
No, I'm not going to report myself. I'm going to report Mr. Lugie. He's still charged. He's still charged with the care of the animals based on his breakdown of what I owe him for costs. And Your Honor,
well, you want it both ways, but if you're going to sue him for money damages, you certainly can do that. But this is a possession judgment that you have to remove your stuff. So if you're concerned about the condition of your cows, I would suggest you come get them sooner rather than later. You have 10 days to remove them off the property. And we're going to have to finagle that perhaps a little bit because today is the 21st. That would take us to December 1st, which is a Monday, first day after the Thanksgiving holiday. Have you got a place to put them?
I will confirm that today. I had residences lined up for everybody, including some animals going to processing. And Your Honor, in lieu of the fact that all the cows now have calves and every move of a cow will take an individual trip, I'd like to ask to move the removal of them to the end of December.
No, we need them moved now. He's had plenty of time to get these moved.
Their answer to that is no. There may be a little bit of a grace period, but they served a notice to quit on you some time ago, back in May, and they're still there. So they're not willing to grant more than the 10 days.
My client has been in contact with animal control to come check the cattle, and we've been in contact with Bruce Morris and animal control if we need to do an eviction.
This is a very odd situation. This just has to do with possession of the property. So if you believe he owes you compensation, you can file an action either in small claims court for up to $7,000 or general civil court if you believe it's more than that. But at this point, you got 10 days to remove the property, or they can take steps to remove it. There may need to be a little grace period if you can't get them all off of there in time. But by the letter of the law, you have until December 1st. He has 56 days from today to ask for the writ of eviction, but he doesn't wish to go all the way through the month of December. I guess he could if he wishes to, but the date for the removal is December 1. That's also the date for the appeal. Apparently, you sent an email overnight. I guess Ms. Hines, when she gets back to her office, can take a look at that and share it with her client. But this is not about money, it's about possession. So you got 10 days to get your stuff out of there. All right, good luck and good luck to all these cows, Mr. Miziak. I hope you can accomplish this before the December starts. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
All right, Ms. Hines, I'll give you a copy of that and you can take it out. Get what you need. All right, now I've got ready to start my regular old docket.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Mr. Tomorrow, in this case, Mr. Thornton has provided a very helpful breakdown of what they contend that you owe through the month of November. We've got October's rent, $745, November rent $800, November late fee $45 for a total of $1,590, plus water costs of $65. Plus court costs of filing service and attorney fee, it adds up to $1,839. What's your response to that?
While I don't know the other numbers, what is owed for the apartment is true.
Say that again.
While I don't know the other numbers, like the court fees and all that, to be what I owe for the apartment is true.
Okay. Do you have a plan to try to catch up?
Yes, I've recently, including now, which is why I'm sick now, I've taken up overtime and all that to help pay this back. I do not agree. I'm sorry, I do not disagree with them wanting to remove me. That's fine. That's just desserts, but I do want to pay them back. Yes.
All right. So you said you're working at Metal Technologies?
No. I'm picking up overtime.
All right. Where do you work?
T-Mobile. I sell cell phones.
All right. Well, I hope you can sell a lot of them soon, because the law requires we adjourn this matter at least 7 days. And so next Friday is a court holiday. We're not open on the day after Thanksgiving. So that takes us to Monday, December 1st. And Lance, let's see how that works for you, because we're going to have to put several cases in there. How are you for 2/15 on Monday, December 1st?
That works, Your Honor.
Mr. Tomorrow, by the time we meet next, another month's rent is going to be due. December's rent will be due. So they claim that you owe $1,590. You might as well add $800 to that for December. So you're going to owe $2,639.33 without a late fee or any other water. So that's what you need to pay. If you don't pay that, you would be subject to being evicted 10 days later, which would be December 10th. So my suggestion is that you haven't paid full rent October or November, and I don't know that some overtime between now and the next 10 days is going to pay any of this, but I would suggest you stay in contact with your manager. I don't know if you're eligible for any housing assistance. You may check into those matters as well. There's not a lot of business days between now and December 1st, really only 3. So stay in contact with your manager. We'll talk about this further a week from Monday, December 1st. So that'll be 10 days from now. Do you have any questions?
I do not.
All right, I'll see you then. Hopefully you get a big commission or something and get caught up on this. All right, I'll see you December 1st.
Thank you much.
Here they contend that rent is due partially for September. We've got October late fee and November late fee, and October and November's rent totaling $3,467. I'll allow a $50 late fee, so you would owe $3,367.54 in rent, $188 in utilities and renter tax, and court costs of filing fee, service fee, and attorney fee of $241.60. So the current arrearage through November is $3,828.02. Is that correct, Mr. Thornton? You're on mute, Lance. I think you were on mute. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you. It would be reduced down to $3,728.02 with the reduction in the late fees.
Yes, thank you. Ms. Klein, somebody apparently had co-signed for you, and they're not presently involved. Do you have a plan to catch this up, or do you plan to move out?
I do have a plan to catch it up. I did just start a new job and I did pick up doubles, so therefore obviously I'll be making more money. And I do just plan on paying it as much as I can go. So, and I do plan on selling my car. That way I can also get a little more cash, and that will also go to the rent.
All right, that might help. Now, the law requires that I adjourn this matter at least 7 days. And so we're going to adjourn this until December 1st at 2:25. At
Okay.
2:20. 2:25.
225. Okay.
Now, I don't want you to come in by telephone next time. If you can't Zoom in, I want you to come here live and in person at the courthouse. So someone maybe can help you with Zoom, but I don't like doing these by telephone. I can't see you. Now, let's talk about a couple of other things. At that time, we're also going to owe December's rent. So you're going to add another $1,215 or $1,425.
Yeah, there was
What
a
is the
rate
month?
increase from October to November.
So the rent went up, wow, $210. So you're going to owe $5,000 plus dollars. And they aren't going to take it at $100 a week as you pick up doubles on your shift. You have 10 days from December 1st to pay the rent or be subject to being evicted. So they can, if they wish to, but I don't think they're going to enter into some sort of a repayment agreement where you pay a little bit each month, because you're going to be more than $5,300 in arrears. Your rent is very expensive. $1,425, and each time it's late, there's an additional $50 late fee, plus the renter's tax and utilities. You're paying over $1,500 a month for this apartment. So maybe you'll get a lot for your car. I don't know. Now, they can agree to some sort of repayment agreement if they wish to, but for this much money, I don't know that they're willing to do that. My advice would be that you stay in contact with the manager.
Okay.
Now, let me tell you what will happen. When we reconvene on December 1st, I'm gonna recalculate how much is due. I'm gonna add in December's rent, which apparently went up $210 a month. So it's $1,425. So that's gonna be over $5,000. And you would have 10 days from December 1st to pay it or be subject to being evicted. So that would give you until December 10th to either pay the rent or move out. Eviction is when the sheriff comes and puts your stuff out on the street. That's not a very fun process. They can agree to work with you to get caught up on this, but they don't have to. So the worst case scenario for you is that you owe, let's add that up, 3728.02 plus 1425. Let's just put another late fee in there. You would owe 5,203.02. That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
So if you don't think you can pay it, you should think about Plan B, moving out. If you do move out, you need to turn in your keys and give your forwarding address in writing to the landlord within 4 days of your moving. Now, Anna Schmidt signed as a co-signer. She doesn't live there. That means if they sue you for back rent and money damages, she's also liable for that. So she may be on the hook for that if you're not able to catch it up. That's the risk of co-signing for somebody. So again, Ms. Klein, my advice would be you stay in contact with your manager, let her know what you intend to do. If you think you could catch it up, great, then you get to stay there. If you can't, then you should think about finding another place to go. And people tell me this every week. I would move if I had somewhere to move to. There's not enough housing, and there's certainly not enough affordable housing. But this complex has a waiting list. They have people who'll be waiting to rent your apartment, even at this high rate of rent. All right, do you have any questions?
No, not that I can think of.
Okay. All right, I'll see you on December 1st at 2:25, either by Zoom or live and in person.
Okay, perfect.
All right, perfect. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay. You can tell she's a server. They say perfect. Ms. Klein, best of luck to you. Perfect. When they take your order. If they're really good or been around for a while, they call you Hun. All right, someone's joined us known as iPhone. Who am I speaking with? Is this Irene Lopez? That is the alleged Andrew Rognus. But let's see if we can identify. Purported. That is the purported Andrew Rognus. Let's see if we can identify who iPhone is. Someone has joined us on an iPhone. Who am I speaking with?
Kevin Gushwa.
All right, Mr. Gushwa, let me give you a name. Let me see if I can get Mr. Boyer in here.
Yeah.
Mr. Boyer, can you hear me?
I can hear you, yeah.
All right, you got your US Postal Service garb on. As long as you're here, I'd like you to listen to what I have to say. I'm going to advise you and the other tenants of their rights in a landlord-tenant proceeding.
Okay.
Mr. Gushwa and Mr. Boyer, you are here on a landlord-tenant matter, either a termination of tenancy or demand for non-payment of rent. In which case you have certain legal rights. You have the right to hire an attorney. If you cannot afford one, you can ask legal aid to assist you or seek other legal assistance. You have the right to have your case heard here in St. Joseph County where the property is located. You have a right to demand a jury trial. If you wish to have a jury trial, you must tell me at this first court appearance or be prepared to file the demand in writing within 5 days of today and pay the $50 jury demand fee. I think these are both termination of tenancy cases. Yes, so they aren't a case where you're going to get emergency financial assistance. You may be able to reach an agreement with the landlord by going through mediation. If both parties are interested in that, the court can help set it up. You may be able to reach an agreement with the landlord that means the case would get dismissed, in which case Mr. Thornton could prepare for us a conditional order of dismissal. We'll set aside Lopez for a minute, Ms. Daler, and we'll skip ahead to Mr. Thornton's next case, which is Green Valley Apartments versus Gushwa. Kevin Gushwa is here. Mr. Thornton is here. This is filed as a termination of tenancy case. It says here there is no lease and they want you to move. Is that correct, Mr. Thornton?
If we're on Mr. Gushwell's case, yes.
Yes. Mr. Gushwell, what's your position?
Yeah, I plan on moving out. I've got a house. It'll be ready for me, I believe. It's like the second week of December. I'll be out of here.
All right. Well, the law requires that I continue this matter. Well, here's by the second week of December. Would you say you'd be out by December 15th?
What day is that?
That's a Thursday.
I'd say by
Oh, wait
that
a minute.
week.
That's a Monday. December 15th is a Monday.
I'd say I should be in that week. I would be out. Yes.
Well, we can agree on a consent judgment right now where you agree to be out by that date, or we can simply continue the matter until December 1st, and at which time we'll discuss it further.
Can we give me to the Friday of that week? Because I get paid the middle of that week.
All right, so you would say you would vacate by December 19th?
Yes.
Mr. Thornton, what's your response to that?
Mr. Gushwa is 6 months behind in his rent, so we'd like to stick to the 15th.
Well, the actual date for the writ would be December 11th. So this would give him 11 more days and alleviate you of the obligation of having to go through an eviction. But we can discuss it further. The date for the writ, Mr. Gushwa, would be 10 days after December 1st, which is our next court date. I was seeing if we could just agree to be out 10 days later, and then they wouldn't have to go through the eviction. But at this point, they're not.
We would agree to the 15th, Your Honor, give him through that next Monday, because, I mean, realistically, we wouldn't get the order of eviction issued and served by that time anyway, so.
You're right. So all right, so they'll agree to go to the 15th. And if that's agreeable, we can do a consent order right now. What's your response to that?
Well, I get paid that Wednesday of that week, and gas money and everything, and I've dumped all the money I have into my, the place I'm going to right now, and it'll be ready that week. I just know that on this, I believe the 17th is when I get paid, so I'd have gas and everything to get, everything moved and everything.
All right, as he said, they've been trying to get you to move for months, but it's close. So I don't know. Let's just continue this matter to December 1st, 2025 at 2:40. We'll see how you're doing at that point financially, moving wise. If they get what they asked for, you'd have until December 11th to move out or be subject to being evicted. We'll discuss it further, but you have an absolute right under the new Michigan court rule to have a 7-day adjournment. Next Friday is 7 days. We're not here that day. So the next available day is Monday, December 1st. And we'll take a shot at this at 2:40. I should have realized how busy this day was going to be because we missed next Monday and next Friday. But we'll cram it all in there. Monday, December 1st at 2:40. All right, Mr. Gushwa, I'll see you then. Again, if you can only come in by telephone, I want you to either be here live in person or come in by Zoom. I don't like doing it by telephone. I can't see you. I don't know who I'm actually speaking to.
Right. I tried to do the Zoom and I couldn't get it to work for me. I'm on actually Zoom itself to make this call, but I couldn't get the video to work.
Well, that's a year. Yeah. All right. Maybe practice between now and then.
Yes,
anyway,
sir.
I will see you next December 1st at 12:40.
12:40 or 2:40?
2:40. Excuse me. Yes. Thank you.
Yes,
I
sir.
do that a lot. Good thing people are taking care of me. All right. Well, let's go backpedal here for a minute. Sturgis Place Apartments versus Irene Lopez and Danilo Marquez Diaz.
Am I
Mr.
free to go,
Grishwa, you're
sir?
good to go. Yep, I'll remove you.
Thank you, sir. Have a good day.
Thank you. That one is set for 9:20. The defendants are not present. They were both personally served. Mr. Thornton, what's the status on that one?
Still pursuant to the judgment information sheet that I provided, they owe $1,121.17. Since there was personal service, we would be requesting that a judgment enter today.
There were personal service on each defendant. This one isn't too terribly behind. Maybe they can get this caught up. Ms. Daler, have you had any contact with them?
Not about this, no.
I got 3 pens here that all don't have any ink in them. All right, they were personally served, as Mr. Thornton indicated, and they're subject to default. And again, these very handy cost breakdowns. Rent through November is $840, $854.37. Court costs are $266.80. There's nothing additional in here, no utilities or pet fees or anything like that. So the total amount through November is $1,121.17. I used to add the next month, which would be December. But I'm not allowed to do that by a ruling of a circuit court. Rent is $1,160. So as of December 1st, another $1,100 is gonna be due, but this is just through November. Date for the writ is 10 days from today, which would be December 1st. No money judgment is issued at this time. Partial payment will not prevent the writ of eviction. And the defendant could be liable for additional damages like December's rent or other damage to the property. The appeal date is also December 1st. All right, they're still there. Ms. Daylor, you said you had no contact about this.
Mhm.
Have you
Yes,
had
sir.
other contact?
Yeah, I actually spoke to her this morning. We have
Okay.
pest control coming, so I reached out to her and let her know that this morning. And she has made a payment. She made a payment on November 1st, but she hasn't paid anything since.
That payment would have been included in what the numbers.
Yes.
I gave you.
All right, well, let's see what happens. I suspect perhaps they're gonna pay the rent. All right, Mr. Thorne, does that finish our business?
It does.
All right, well, I'll see you on Monday the 1st.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. All right, next is a case which is a blast from the past, which is entitled Bentwater's Apartments versus Carolyn Wise. Mr. Andrew Rognus is here on behalf of Bentwater's Apartment, and the tenant in the apartment, Stephen Boyer, is present. This is filed as a termination of tenancy. We dealt with this some time ago. The tenant actually on whatever lease there is Carolyn Wise. Then if there was a lease, it expired April 20th of 2025 and has become a month-to-month lease since that point. Mr. Rognus, what's the status here?
Actually, Your Honor, that September 30th it expired.
All right.
So what's transpired is back in June, Bentwaters had sent a renewal notice to Carolyn Wise, extending it through September 30th. We got something back with some scribbled signature on it, which now I suspect is probably Mr. Boyer's, but it's illegible. However, I would say you can't create a valid contract by accepting an offer made to another person in a circumstance where it's a bilateral offer. So Mr. Boyer actually is a stranger to this transaction. They switched out the notice to quit back on August 11th, asking him to move by September 30th. They have not accepted any rent for anything after that point in time. So at this point, Your Honor, I guess we'd ask that the court enter the judgment. He was personally served in the matter, and he's a stranger to this transaction.
That's not true.
Well, they're not, Miss Wadsworth is joining us. This came up several years ago. Mr. Boyer, how long have you actually lived there?
9 years.
And when did your mother die?
April 17th of this year.
I'm sorry, I thought it was sooner than that or earlier. So your mother died, you've remained in the apartment and you've continued to pay the rent since that time.
I've been paying rent for the last 5 years that I was placed on the lease by my mother.
So you're actually on the lease.
Yes.
again, Your Honor, what I indicated previously, the offer was to Carolyn. And you cannot accept an offer made to another person. So in effect, there is no lease. I mean, that's first year contracts.
Well, I guess I should have been told that.
You might find this hard to believe, Mr. Rognus, but I got the book award in contracts. But I've probably forgotten
You
almost
mean
all
back
of it.
when they were still on clay tablets?
Yes, it was in cuneiform.
The code of Robbie?
Mr. Boyer, apparently they want to terminate this tenancy. You've lived there for 9 years. You've been paying your mother's rent for much of that time. She passed away in April.
Correct.
They served a notice to quit on you in August, asking you to move. And apparently they aren't interested in entering a new contract with you. I don't know all the background here. Jennifer Wadsworth, the manager, has joined us. You work for the Postal Service?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So are you missing work right now?
Yeah, but that's, it's all they know. So, but yes, I am.
Well, what do you wish to do?
Well, I mean, I've been actively looking for a place to rent to get out of here, but I can't find anything. I've also gotten a loan to buy a home, but I can't find a home. And it's just it's a mess out there. You know, I just don't understand why it's such a hard thing to give a lease to somebody that's been here taking care of this place and paying the rent.
Well, it looks like it's well maintained just from what I'm seeing here. I don't know the answer to that, but I do agree there isn't anywhere to move to. You're better than many of our tenants. You got a good job. You got money to rent something else at market rates. You're even willing to buy a house.
Right.
But there isn't enough housing stock. Bentwaters has a waiting list of people waiting to get in there. I don't know all the background here. They could simply sign a new lease with you and you could continue to pay the rent and maintain your tenancy. Once they file the termination of tenancy, they can no longer accept your rent.
Okay.
So it's been several months, probably August, September, October, November's rent hasn't been paid.
No, it's
October and November, Your
yeah.
Honor.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which I have the money for, but
Yes.
Your Honor, I certainly think that we probably could extend the same deadline that the last case did to December 15th.
All right. I'm not sure that under the law, I have to adjourn this matter at least 7 days. And we can't do that because next Friday court is closed. So our next available date is Monday, December 1st, which is going to be very busy. Under the law, you would get 10 days from December 1st to move out, which would be December 11th.
Okay.
Mr. Rognus is willing to extend it to December 15th, which isn't much of an extension.
Your schedule is overloaded on the 1st. Do you want to do it on December 5th?
Yes, December 5th ain't looking
that
too good
one
either, but let's take a look. Let's take a look. That would de facto give him until the 15th.
Yep.
Yes, that would be helpful, Andrew.
Okay. Time.
2:40.
Got it.
Mr. Boyer, you're not a tenant at sufferance. You're actually on the lease and you've been paying the rent when your mother was there for a number of years. And after your mother passed, you paid April, May, June, July's rent.
Right.
Then they extended some sort of offer to Carolyn Wise to renew the lease.
I never seen that. That came to me, so.
Well, they said somebody scribbled something on it and sent it back. I'm
Okay.
not sure what that means, but apparently they never extended an opportunity for you to renew the lease. As I said, I don't know all the background here, but as a practical matter, there's no current lease and they're asking to terminate this tenancy. So we're going to continue this matter until December 5th at 2:40. You can seek legal advice. You're probably not eligible for legal aid services, but you can seek other legal advice. That's a primary reason for the adjournment, according to the Supreme Court. But that would extend it to December 5th, which would give you until December 15th to move or be subject to being evicted. If you do move, you need to turn in your keys and give your forwarding address in writing within 4 days of your moving. So I don't know, Mr. Rognus or Ms. Wadsworth, anything else to add?
Other than the fact, Your Honor, I got something dated September 13, 24. If I'm interpreting this correctly, it looks just like the initials SB. But again, that was to Ms. Wise, not to Mr. Boyer.
Well, they all were when I signed them.
Well, it isn't a secret. They know he's been there. He's not a stranger to them. So again, there's something more going on here than meets my eye, but Mr. Boyer, they want you to move. And you're in a fortunate position that you have a good job and a car and the wherewithal to do it. They're just trying to find a place to move to.
Yeah, right. That's true.
At this point, were you the only heir of your mother?
No, there's 3 of us.
All right, your brother passed.
I had my youngest brother did, and then I have 2 older brothers.
Okay. All right, I wish I had a better answer for you, but we're gonna revisit this on December 5th at 2:40.
Okay.
All right,
Okay, thank
you're
you,
good to
Your
go.
Honor.
Thank you. All right, let's remove Mr. Boyer and get back to work. Ms. Wadsworth, nice to see you. All right, let's bring in iPhone, Brian Weiss, and we'll see if we get Mark Parker to take his hat off. All right, we've got Samantha Watts from the Phoenix 401k Trust. We've got Mark Parker, and we have iPhone. Mr. Parker, could you unmute your phone and your camera? And iPhone, who am I speaking with? Someone has joined us on an iPhone. Who am I speaking with?
Christy Keene.
All right. Mr. Parker, can you hear me? Well, I hope so. Mr. Parker, if you'd unmute your mic. I tried to unmute it. Mr. Parker, can you hear me?
Yeah, I got it unmuted.
All right, very good. All right, Ms. Keene, you can also hear me, and I'm going to advise each of you of your rights as a tenant in a landlord-tenant proceeding. Ms. Keene is here on a land contract forfeiture. And Mr. Parker is here on a demand for non-payment of rent. But in either case, you have a right to hire an attorney to represent you in this matter. If you can't afford an attorney, you could ask legal aid to represent you or seek other legal advice. You have a right to have the case heard here in St. Joseph County where the property is located. You have a right to demand a jury trial. If you wish to have a jury trial, you must tell the court here at this first initial appearance or be prepared to file the demand in writing within 5 days of today's date and pay the $50 jury demand fee unless the judge waives it for your inability to pay it. If your landlord has asked you to be evicted from a residential property because you haven't paid rent, that isn't, well, that's, I guess, Mr. Parker's position. You may be able to get emergency housing assistance from the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services, a local coordinated entry agency, a housing assessment and resource agency, or a federal help for veterans program if you're a veteran. We did send that information to you with the original summons packet. You may be able to reach an agreement with the landlord by going through local community dispute resolution, also known as mediation. Both parties are interested, the court can help set that up. You may be able to reach an agreement with the landlord that means the case would get dismissed, which case they would file what's called a conditional order of dismissal. Our first matter is Phoenix 401k versus Christy A. Keene. This is a property, I believe, on 9th Street in Three Rivers, and it is a land contract matter. And Mr. Weiss, it looked to me like more than 50% of the contract price was paid. What's the circumstance here?
That is correct, Your Honor. Actually, there's a relatively small amount remaining on the contract. I'm showing that as of the date I filed the case, the total land contract balance as a payoff was $8,320.64. So it would be a 6-month redemption period in the event a judgment entered. The amount due in past due payments, which have not been made since June, I believe, plus taxes that were paid for the summer of 2025. So I'm showing the amount due of $59,3739. I've got court costs of $111.72. So the total balance I'm currently showing to redeem the property or the judgment amount would be $6,049.11. But that would be subject to a 6-month redemption.
Ms. Keene, I don't see a lot of land contract forfeitures where they've paid more than 50%. You've paid about 80% of this property off, and you'd hate to lose it in a foreclosure or forfeiture. But when you paid more than 50% of the price, you have 180 days to redeem it, which is certainly better than 10 days in a rental position. What's your position?
Yes, sir. I will have the money on the 25th. And that would be for the $8,320.64, if that would be fine.
So you just plan to pay the whole thing off?
Yes, sir.
Well, I'm sure that makes them happy.
And she may need to confirm that amount now. I gave the balance as of the date I filed. There may be some additional interest, or I'm not sure if the taxes are included in that, but she can contact Ms. Watts to get the exact payoff. Current payoff.
All right, I think the safest thing to do would be to continue this rather than do some sort of conditional order of dismissal or something. The law says you're entitled to at least a 7-day adjournment. I would propose to adjourn this to December the 5th. And if everything is paid off by then, the whole thing can be dismissed. Mr. Weiss, are you available on the afternoon of December 5th at 2:45?
I'm looking at that as we speak. Friday. I should be, yes.
All right. Ms. Keen, this
Yep.
is the best case scenario. You pay it off, you own the property, there's no further land contract, the case is dismissed, and everybody lives happily ever after.
Yes,
If that doesn't work out, we'll discuss it further on Friday, December 5th at 2:45. In which case I would tell you how much is due, because we'd have another month's payment for December. And then you'd get 180 days to redeem this, which would essentially be till next June. But it sounds like you've got a plan to pay the whole thing off. You'll own the house, and I say good for you. Do you have any questions?
no, sir. Thank you.
John,
Mr.
I would
Weiss, do you want
recommend-
her to
Yeah.
communicate directly with the trust?
That would be great. She could communicate with me as well, but if she wants to contact Miss Watts to finalize the deal of payoff and get the exact redemption amount, or I'm sorry, the payoff amount, that would be fine. So she can contact either myself or Miss Watts directly.
All right. Now, if it's all paid off, Mr. Weiss will do an order of dismissal by December 5th, and nobody needs to show up. If it isn't, we'll discuss it further on Friday, December 5th at 2:45. Is that agreeable with you, Ms. Keen?
Sounds perfect.
All right, very good. I hope I don't see you. Hope it's all paid off and everybody's satisfied, but it doesn't happen very often. All right. Thank you, Mr. Weiss. I'll see you again next time.
Okay, thank you. Have a
All
good
right, Ms.
holiday.
Watts,
Thank you.
thank you. All right, let me bring in Mr. Davidson. Good afternoon, Mr. Davidson.
Happy Friday, Your Honor.
It's going pretty smoothly so far. Mark Parker is here with us. I've advised him of his rights as a tenant. But we were here last time on November 7th. And we continued the matter until today, which was 2 weeks. At the time we were here last time, we determined rent through November was $3,658 plus $185.40. Now you've given me some different numbers. Rent through something.
We just took the amount that was in the complaint, Your Honor, and then added 8 weeks to it. That's what I did.
All right. I thought we calculated that it was through, last time we calculated it was through November. So is this a week to week?
Yes.
All right. All right, Mr. Parker, they contend that rent at this point is $4,498.58. That would be through what date?
Today. Well, it's more than 8 weeks,
Through-
but 8 weeks is the rounded back.
Through today, through November 21. Mr. Parker, what's your position?
It's still under review, but now that they upped the rent saying that I owe, they're gonna need more, they're gonna need that updated amount. I'm not too sure. It's supposed to be month to month, so I'm not too sure why it's bouncing like that.
Well, let's take a look.
It was weekly at first, then he moved it to month to month. He was doing the same thing
Yeah,
with
it's
my,
month to month.
yeah, he was doing the same thing with my ex-girlfriend too. He would move it weekly and then he'd show it monthly and just bounce it back and forth like that. So I'm not too sure what exactly is going on. But it's under
Well,
review.
neither am I. The rent, the lease is month, well, it says 170 per week or 733 per month. So it's
Right,
either or on the lease, so I guess you can calculate it this way. When you say it's under review, by who?
DHS said it's under review and I'll receive something in writing.
All right, well, you're gonna get this, you're gonna get this judgment. And you can take it to DHS. DHS often tells people, we need a judgment before we can give you financial assistance, which isn't accurate, but that's what they constantly, I hear it back.
Okay.
So you can take this to them, but each week it's gonna be another $177. Now, the other thing I told you before, I want to tell you again, partial payment will not prevent the writ of eviction. So you owe, with late fees, court costs, $4,943.98 through, we'll call that through November.
Okay.
Although I don't know, I'm troubled because on November 7th, I calculated that through the month of November, rent was $3,658.
Yeah, I don't understand.
That's what I placed on the record.
Well,
Now, Mr. Davidson put 8 additional weeks of rent on there, and we're still in the same month.
That's because you were calculating 170 a month, Your Honor, but at the time of the hearing, I said that I would provide you with the numbers today, and you said, okay. So that's, I didn't really want to go back and sort of beat that horse, because my thought was that you had said that we should do it this way. Well, I know you said that we should do it this way, and I did.
Well,
so I wasn't thinking it was a problem for today.
That's
the answer.
The complaint alleges that as of September 25th, it does say $3,138.58 through September 25th. So let's count that.
It's 8.1 weeks to today.
All right. Well, at least it'll give them a number from DHS to work from. Now, if they get the other problem, each week there's another week's rent due. So this is kind of a moving target, because you get 10 days from today to pay this. That would be.
Another thing is he doesn't come bi-weekly. He comes around once a month. He doesn't come every week. He comes around to collect everybody's rent every month.
All right, well, how'd you get so far behind in the rent?
I'm not too sure. He would come by weekly, I'd pay him a week. He'd come by monthly, I'd pay him half the month. And I had a bad abscess too, so I was out for a little bit. I had to have surgery on my jaw. So I was down for a little bit there. But he comes by once a month.
It's a relative concept.
Well, this is old school landlord, where they actually come by your apartment to collect their rent. The wolf is at the door here, Mr. Parker. Hopefully DHS will give you some assistance. Excuse me, December 1st. Yes, have until December 1st to vacate, or you're subject to being evicted. If you call the court, see, there's another problem. There's only 3 business days between now and December 1st. Next Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Then we got the Thanksgiving holiday and 2 weekends in the middle of that. So if you call the court and give them your email, we'll email you this judgment so you can share it with DHS.
Well, I'll do that right when I get off the phone here with you guys. I can do that.
All right, very good.
So I call up to the courthouse.
Let's say they agree to give you $4,000, which is a lot. You would still owe the balance of $943.
Okay.
So you call the court as soon as we're done, and the clerk will email you a copy of the judgment so you can see it.
Okay.
And share it with DHS today because the clock is ticking. Now, they don't have to evict you on the 1st. They can, but they have 56 days from the day to ask for the writ of eviction. Again, if DHS is going to give you some money, that will be helpful, but the only thing that cures it is paying the entire amount.
Yeah.
And even, let's say it is monthly. On December 1st, you would owe December's rent. This is sort of half and half. It's half weekly and half monthly. I don't really like that very much. I'd calculate it through the month. Mr. Davidson calculated it by the week. But as of today's date, 11/20/25, that's how much your rent is. So you call the court, we'll email you a copy of this judgment. We can forward it to DHS if you tell us where, or you can share it with them, but I encourage you to do that today. Are you working someplace?
I work second shift at Morgan Olson.
Oh, that's what you told me. All right, so you're not missing work, but
No.
all right.
Who do I talk to at the courthouse? Who, just the clerk or?
Yeah, the civil clerk, and that number is 467.
On the judgment, it's 5541.
467 5505.
I would like to be able to get my rent paid because Paul is not a bad landlord. He's a good guy. He's, so I would like to get it caught up where I can, because he's a decent landlord.
Well, it's hard to find a place to move to. So you
It's
got a
very
good
hard.
landlord, you got a job. He can agree to work with you to get caught up on this, but 467 5505 is the clerk that you need.
Okay.
All right. Good luck, Mr. Parker.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Davidson.
Hope the rest of your day is so simple.
New baby boy Middleton was born this morning about, I don't know what time, sometime.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I don't know his name yet, but he has a lot of hair.
Good. That's always good for a healthy baby.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Congratulations on the new edition.
Yes, thank you. That may be the last grandchild I'll have. I never envisioned myself as being a grandfather, but I'm all over it right now.
I know you're great.
All right, our next matter is set for 10:15, which is 4 minutes from now. The defendants are here with me in the courtroom. The manager, Ms. Cousineau, is here. I ran into her the other night in Three Rivers and she didn't recognize me outside of court. But it was nice to meet your sister.
Outside.
We did terribly on our trivia that night, so we're sinking lower to the bottom.
Is that like a board where you go every week? Or is it?
Sometimes the trivia is on Wednesday nights, and I go with my son and a couple others. It was his birthday, so we had some extra people with us. But yeah, it's every Wednesday, and each Wednesday I get dumber and dumber.
That's fine. That's why we went. She took me out for dinner for my birthday.
We have the same birthday as my son.
I was the 18th.
Oh,
Close enough.
close enough. All right, all we need is Mr. Butchart, and we can address this matter. Mr. Havens and Ms. Patnod, why don't you come up and have a seat? Right over here where you were before. Good morning. That happens to me a lot, and it has ever since people would see me and they'd say, I know that guy from somewhere. But most of the time people say hello. They just call me by my first name. But I lost that when I became judge. So generally when I go somewhere, people often just say hello.
Yeah.
All right, we have just one of these. I think we have another one. Oh, just this one. Oh, we have an 11 o'clock.
Yep.
Ledford. So we have 10:15. Then we have a break until 10:40. So we may take a short recess. Then we have a 10:40 and 11. And then we have a full afternoon. Here's Mr. Gromer. Good morning.
Morning.
We've got everybody we need here. Mr. Havens and Ms. Patnod are here with me in the courtroom. Your manager, Lori, is present, and now you're here. The file number here is 252069LT. It's entitled Village Manor versus Patnod and Havens. It's filed as a termination of tenancy for alleged number of lease violations. When we were here last on November 14th, the defendants indicated they enjoyed living there and had been there for a number of years, and they would move if they had somewhere to move to. So who's going to speak for you two?
I will, sir.
All right,
since I
Mr.
can hear
Havens.
Better than Mr. Patnod. Good morning, Your Honor. Good morning, Lori. Good morning, Mr. Groomer.
Good morning.
I spoke with Lori and Mr. Groomer on Friday and Monday, and we have come to agreement, or they've come to help me out along with a conditional order of dismissal.
That's
and
correct,
that way
Judge.
I won't have the eviction on our records, and we'll get out and their time.
All right, Mr. Gromer, what are the terms of it?
Judge James Gromer, P63503. Yes, I've met with Mr. Havens, and I hope I don't mess up her name, Ms. Patnod. We have agreed to a conditional dismissal with a move-out date of December 31st, 2025, Your Honor. I have explained to both of them that they're not represented by an attorney. They do have 3 business days from which to ask the court to set this aside if they believe a decision, something was incorrectly done. And I have also explained to them that if they don't move on or before that date, the court could reinstitute the case and ask for a writ. It seems like them and the property are working together. Great judge. They also granted me permission to sign their names. I have confirmation in an email from them.
Is that correct?
Yes, sir, it is.
Could you email that to me, Mr. Gromer, and I'll provide a copy of them before they leave.
Yeah, I'll have my office send it right this minute.
All right, the email address is on the notice, but it's 3bcivil@stjosephcountymi.gov. And that way they can walk out of here with a copy of that in their hand. All right, so you agree, you're gonna move by December 31st.
Yes, sir.
All right, that's at least 20 days more than the statute provide for. And a conditional order of dismissal means it will not show as an eviction on your record, which could be very important
Yes.
in the long run. If you don't comply with it, they could ask for reinstatement of the complaint and issuance of an eviction order. You understand that?
Yes, sir, I do.
And you said this, and people have said it several times already today. We'd move if we had somewhere to move to. If you had any luck finding a place?
I checked on 2 places yesterday that I'm on a waiting list, and they said, just hang in there, hang in there. They say there's people ahead of me, but you know, people move, people pass away.
Everybody's got a waiting list.
Yeah.
Including Miss Cousineau. All right.
I appreciate you, Your Honor, and I appreciate Lori and Mr. Groomer. At least we'll have a Thanksgiving dinner at home still, and maybe even put up a Christmas tree. So
all right.
It'll be great. Thank you all.
Yes, it's all a sad circumstance. All right. If you go out to the counter, I'll sign this. I'll give you a copy of the order, and then you're good to go.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Happy Thanksgiving.
All right, thank you. Mr. Gromer, you guys aren't up again until 11. I'm gonna take a short recess here, and I'll see you in a little bit. I've got another case at 10:40, so I'll see you in a bit.
All right, Your Honor, just for the record, we had an agreement principle with the 11 o'clock, but we've now.
We do have that one settled also.
But I've not now been able to reach her in
right.
5 days, so I'm not sure if she's appearing or not.
Well, we'll find out. If you have an agreement, send that too, and then I can address it.
I don't have it signed, but I'll send the blank one, Judge.
All right, that's helpful. All right, I'll see you in a little bit.
Thank you.
City of Three Rivers versus John Barnes Jr., not John Barnes, the previous Three Rivers City Attorney, but another John Barnes from Three Rivers. Timothy Reed is here on behalf of the city, and also Leslie Wilson, who I think is their finance director.
City clerk.
City clerk. Mr. Reed and Mr. Barnes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Mr. Reed, what's the status here today?
This is a possession judgment that we're requesting. We would just ask that the court enter the submitted judgment for possession. I realize there's 10 days. The city's willing to work with Mr. Barnes a little bit here. The last hearing, he had indicated he was attempting to obtain housing. And so we have 56 days from the issue from the order or for time of possession to apply for the writ. So we do have time to work with Mr. Barnes.
Mr. Barnes, have you had any luck?
Not yet. I've searched like 3 different places in the last couple of days, but either way overpriced or it's not available.
All right, well, Mr. Reed said a couple of things and I'm going to repeat them. The law says you have 10 days to move or you're subject to being evicted. 10 days from today, it's December 1st. No money judgment is entered at this time. You also have until December 1st to appeal this. But Mr. Reed said the city is willing to work with you in this regard. They don't have to evict you. They don't have to ask for the writ of eviction for 56 days. And then they have another 56 days before they serve it. November and December and early January is not the best time to find a place to move to. But this foreclosure action was quite some time ago. And you're just going to have to vacate. The city's easy to they're just down the street. And the city clerk is involved. Now, when you move, you need to turn in the keys. And they're not going to ask for any security deposit, but in the city, as practical matters, probably going to change all the locks. But the law says when you vacate, you're supposed to give your forwarding address in writing and turn in the keys within 4 days of your vacating. Do you have any questions?
Would a post office box suffice if I don't have a place yet?
Say that again, sir. I didn't get it.
As far as a forwarding address, could I use
Yes.
a Stewart's post office box?
Yes, that would be sufficient.
Okay.
All right, now, Mr. Reed, who would you like to be the point person?
I would ask him to reach out. Sorry, Leslie, but I'm gonna have him, the city clerk would be the person to contact there at City Hall. And she
Yeah.
can be the conduit between whoever needs to get the information.
All right, thank you. All right, Mr. Barnes, do you have any questions?
Would I be able to get in touch with Mr. Reed through the city clerk?
Yes.
All right.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I will tell you,
All right.
yeah, that's fine, Mr. Barnes. If you want to call, I would contact my office today, or get a hold of Miss Wilson today. Again, we have till December 1st. I don't see the city filing this on December 1st.
So, but you should really plan on trying to get out by the month of December, be my advice. All right, Mr. Barnes, good luck. Miss Reed, I just sent you a text.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Also,
Oh,
our
man.
visitors are here. Our visitors are here from California. They'd hope to see you in person, but they'll just have to do with the virtual version.
That's right. Sorry. Oh, look at that. Wow, look at that. That's exciting. So how many is that total?
That makes 5. We don't know his name yet, but he's relatively new, like 3 hours worth.
I was gonna say.
Maybe 4 hours. All right, thank you. That takes care of this matter, and I'll see you maybe next week.
Real quick, Judge, unrelated to this, there was a stip on a different case that was submitted on an adjournment for a PCC next week.
On which case?
Last name Allen.
Yes, I signed it.
Okay.
Judge Pattison texted me from the judicial conference and asked me to sign it, said there was also a substitution. So yeah, I've signed it.
Well, so earlier in the week, we were trying to get it done. He's like, oh yeah, get it submitted and I'll sign it. And then he took off to the conference like, oh, I never signed that. And he's like, I'll reach out to the court, which is fine.
Yeah, he texted me on Wednesday night, I think. I thought I did it yesterday, but we skipped the substitution.
Okay, that's fine. I just want to ensure that it was off and I can tell the client that it's off. Okay.
Yeah, it's been moved. All right, thanks.
Yep, have a good week.
I've signed this order.
Thank you.
We're going to address at this point the matter of Village Manor versus Destiny Ledford. Once again, Attorney James Gromer is here on behalf of the plaintiff, and the manager, Lori Cousineau, is present on behalf of the complex. In our earlier case, Mr. Gromer indicated that he did have a proposed consent order for conditional dismissal, which he sent to me, which would give the defendant until December 31st to vacate. The problem is it's a consent order. I don't have her signature on it and she isn't here. Mr. Gromer, you have any suggestions?
Well, normally, Your Honor, my manager had spoken to, actually, in this case, different than the other case, and Ms. Ledford had said that she wanted to take the conditional dismissal on the 31st. I always make it mandatory that I actually speak with them and go through the rights. So I emailed her and called her and so I've never spoken to her. I don't know. I can have my manager shake her head. I mean, we could still do the 31st date if you want, but I would propose it in.
Well, I will do it a default order
Right.
for conditional dismissal rather than a consent. Otherwise, she'd be subject to 10 days. And if the landlord is gracious enough to give to the end of the month. So I just changed it to a default order for conditional dismissal defendant to vacate on or before December 31st. The action may proceed without notice to the defendant or further process. Waive notice. Anyway, that's in here. It gives her an additional 20 days to vacate. It's very helpful to have that order, so thank you for sending it. It's better than a traditional default where she would have 10 days. Now she gets almost 40. All right, anything further we should place on the record here?
No, Judge.
All right, I'll see you all soon, I suppose. Thank you all, and you're good to go.
Yeah, thank you to you and your staff. Have a great weekend.
Okay.
Thank you.
Finrick LLC versus Marissa Byers and any other occupants. The tenancy is at it's like Pigeon. West Chicago, East Chicago Road in White Pigeon. The defendant was personally served. This is a non-payment of rent case. And Ms. Yancey started the original judgment forms that the other lawyers copied. John did them, Lance Thornton did them. Anyway, they're very helpful to the court. Here we see rent through November at $4,310, late fees of $120 a month, and court costs of $183.60 for a total of $4,613.60. Is that still accurate?
It's accurate, and actually, Your Honor, I filled that out, but it is a termination of tenancy. She's on a month-to-month at this point, but I didn't know.
Oh, it is a termination of tenancy. Yep,
So I did the
according to my
breakdown sheet because I didn't know if something would come up about a discussion about what the rent was, but it really, this one and the one that follows it are both termination of tenancies that we have in front of you.
All right. Well, I find by default that I'm going to need a new judgment, but defendant has 10 days to move.
Do you want me, I can mark the plaintiff has right to possession after default, and I can take off the monies portion, and then what?
Yeah,
date
just
do
take
I-
off a money portion.
All right.
The
I
date
can-
for the writ will be December 1st.
And I will send that over to Elaine right now.
All right. As you know, people often show up late. Right now, she's only 2 minutes late. So she may come rolling in, but you're going to be with me again in a little bit. Yeah, this is a month-to-month tenancy and has been since, my note, since May.
May, correct.
The notice to quit was September 4th, and she was personally served. Ms. Finnerman-Rarick, is she still there?
Last I knew, she was, Your Honor.
Well, she's not here. So you'll send me a new judgment.
I'm sending it right now.
All right. Again, we have a default personal service. Notice to quit was timely. The month-to-month tenancy began in May. No money damage is requested at this point, and the defendant has 10 days from today to vacate, which would be December 1st. All right, I can either leave you guys in the waiting room and let you work on other stuff. We're not up again for until 1:40. That's 20 minutes from now. I'll either log out or I'll just put you both in the waiting room and then I'll come back. Mr. Thomas, I'm gonna put you in the waiting room also, waiting for your client. If she shows up, Ms. Byers, I'll bring you back in. Otherwise,
Okay.
I'll see you in a few minutes.
Okay, thank you.
This is Judge Middleton courthouse in Centerville. Also here is James Thomas, the landlord. You guys are at the same address.
No.
1-2 White Pigeon. Mr. Thomas has filed a termination of tenancy and he wants you to move out.
Okay.
As a tenant in such a case, you have certain rights. Mr. Thomas, you're in the same residence. You don't have a lease. You want her to move?
Yes, sir. I own the house.
All right. Ms. Schambarger, what's your position?
My position is I don't live there. And my boyfriend lives there. That is his son. And this was all out of the blue. There was never any communication in any form in terms of a request to be moved out or a reason why. He issued me a notice to quit on October 22nd. It was filed. It says here, you must move by 10/12/2025. I was out 2.5, almost 3 weeks prior to that, because I went back home to California to visit some family. I have not been living there. My address
So
was
you
never
moved back
changed.
to California. Are you in California
No,
now?
no, I'm here. I live in Indiana. I never
You live
changed
in
my
Indiana?
address. Yes, I do. My address has never been the 12016 US Highway 12 address. When he gave me that notice to quit, I took my things. I mean, 5 years his son and I have been together. So I finally got enough money around to get a storage unit, and I put everything in storage. I do have a few items left that was out of the way in the garage. It was on my boyfriend's side in his stuff. He said, just keep it until I can rearrange or get money to get a bigger unit. And it wasn't a lot. There was no need for the eviction notice. The notice to quit was enough. And like I said, I was out within a week and a half of him serving me these papers.
Well, apparently there's still some stuff there. Mr. Thomas, what's going on here?
Well, I served that first one by myself that I served, and she never left till she left for 5 days at the end. I'll let you talk because that's wrong, because I was gone for 2 weeks almost 2
All
weeks
right,
in
well,
California.
Ms. Schamberger, we're in a courtroom, so I'll give you a chance to talk, but you can't just butt in.
Right, I do have
All
a
right,
witness
so
with me.
all right, well, should be easily resolved because you're gone, except does she still have stuff there?
Yes. No. With my boyfriend.
His paint.
This is what keeps going on. The time that we served this with the court, she just left 2 nights ago. She's been there the whole time. I don't know what she's.
She has not.
I have not been there the whole time.
No, she hasn't.
I was spending time with my boyfriend.
That's a lie.
I go home
All right,
every night.
well, all right, stop. There's a guy in there with a white hat on.
Yeah, that's his
Who
son.
is that?
That's his
What's
son.
that?
That's
What's
his
his
son. my
name?
boyfriend. Michael Thomas.
Sir, what's your name?
Michael Thomas.
You live at that address?
Yes.
How long have you lived there?
Huh?
How long have you lived there?
How long have you lived there?
40 years.
35 years?
40
40
years.
All right, will you
years?
take your hat off, please? And Galaxy A10, will you take your hat off too? We're on a court proceeding. All right, so you wish to leave your son there, but you don't wish to have his girlfriend there?
Yes, sir. There's problems. There's just problems.
All right, well, here's the deal. He's a lawful tenant. And if she wants to come over there and visit him, she can. This isn't a personal protection order, it's an eviction order. And she's apparently there with him now. And you want to kick your daughter's boyfriend out, but she can always come and visit him unless you want to evict him too. But go ahead. We cut you off before you finished telling me what you wanted to tell me.
Well, every time I've served to get her out, she just comes back, says she's visiting, but then she doesn't leave for 25 days.
That's
inaccurate.
She hasn't been there in 3 days.
All right. Don't give me your address, but Miss Schambarger, what town do you live in?
Elkhart. My driver's license says Elkhart. I have never received any mail at that house. And if I did, it was like an Amazon, and the package always said, care of Michael Thomas.
All right. All right. Well, I guess you can evict just her, but her contention is she isn't a tenant and she doesn't have any stuff there.
Well, my contention is not just that. It's just the notice to quit for possession of property was enough. He didn't have to go and put an eviction. I'm going through a divorce as well. And now I can't, if I have this eviction on my record, I can't get a place to live. Like, you know, and there was no need for the eviction.
But we haven't done an eviction yet. But Mr. Thomas, she makes a good point. When you get an eviction on your record, it makes it unable for you to get into subsidized housing. And so she doesn't really need an eviction. What she needs is a conditional. I'm sorry?
That's why I give her the first writ by myself to give her the chance to leave.
And I did.
She wouldn't leave then, so they told me to go through the court.
Excuse me. I can show
Stop,
proof that I left.
Stop. Ms. Schambarger, you're treating this like a discussion around the kitchen table. It's a court proceeding and I can't even see you.
Maybe that should have been the start. Maybe there should have been a discussion around the kitchen table before any of this, because the lies are right now are incredible. I left.
Can't see you. All I can see is a sheet hanging up on.
I left 5 days after the notice to quit, and I had a full 30 days.
His position left, but then you keep coming back.
To visit my business, and I'm not allowed to do that. I don't understand what this is about now. And there was no clear reason as to what the eviction is for, when it clearly states.
He doesn't have to have one. You don't have a lease. He gave you a notice to quit with an adequate amount of time, and then that triggers this. So he doesn't have to give you a reason. He just followed the steps the best he could. But this is weird. You want to evict your son's girlfriend, but she can come there basically anytime she wants to as his guest. If you want to kick them both out, you can do that. But this is a sort of a backhanded personal protection order or something. You want to bar her from coming to your house. Well, you can't do that because he's a lawful tenant and he can have guests there if he wants to. But Ms. Schambarger, your position is you've already removed all your possessions and do not reside there?
No, no, I do not. If I wanted to, I mean, I'll spend the night with my boyfriend every once in a while, but I certainly do not live there. And you know, I left a week into that notice to quit, because even though I knew I had 30 days, because it was just so uncomfortable. I mean, he threw away my personal belongings.
All right, Mr. Thomas, what's your position?
I just want my house back. They were trying to take over my house. Basically, she moved, when she got thrown out of her house in Elkhart, she moved.
I didn't get thrown out of my house in Elkhart.
Ms. Schambarger, I'm gonna mute your microphone and not let you say anything. You're being very disrespectful to the court.
Well, I'm being lied upon, like that's disrespectful in itself.
And you've got the camera on
On me.
Michael Thomas. All right, so Mr. Thomas, you're bumbling around in the dark. If you want the house back, evict both of them. I'm reluctant to do this eviction of her because it'll make her ineligible for many other housing options if she has an eviction on your record. She doesn't have a lease. She's a tenant at sufferance. She is staying there with your son as a guest, and you can't prohibit that as a landlord. I'm going to continue this. Ms. Schimbarger, you could use some help from an attorney or legal aid, but we're going to continue this. It's not urgent because she's already says she doesn't live there. If you want the whole house back, you got to evict your son too. But he's the tenant and she's his lawful guest. So I'm going to continue this to when Friday, December 5th at 3 o'clock. What this case really needs is a conditional order of dismissal where she simply agrees she will not be a tenant there. And then the matter could be dismissed. But right now, there's too much disagreement about the fundamentals of the matter. So we're going to revisit it on December 5th at 3 o'clock. Her representation is that she's already vacated. You can go over there and look and see if all of her stuff is gone. Possibly you could even dismiss the case, but you can't prohibit her from visiting your son if he's a lawful tenant.
Well, she'll just move back in and we'll be right back where we started.
Then you need to evict both of them. You can't do this halfway. You can't prohibit him. Now, let's say he met a family at the highway oasis and they needed a place to stay, so he moved them in. You could move to evict them. But if she wants to come spend every weekend with him, with his consent, I don't see how you can prohibit it.
The first and the second time she said she left for 1 week, come back, says she come back to visit, and she was there for 25 days and nights.
I didn't bring, can I respond to that? I was actually there for 4 days because I had to work that week and I don't have a vehicle. And so my boyfriend was my ride and it was easier for me to just be there. I do not live there. I do not wish to even live there again because Mr. Thomas has made it so uncomfortable for any kind of living situation to be there when nothing was done other than he could have just been an adult about it and sat down and it would have been resolved. I did not move back in. I did not bring anything with me other than my work clothes. So for him to say that, and for him to say I got kicked out of my house, no. My husband got our house foreclosed and I still legally have that address. And I also am that I've lived in Elkhart.
All right.
So
We'll
I have a
address this
residence.
further on Friday, December 5th.
And in the meantime, what are we supposed to do?
You can visit there. Don't bring your stuff there or move in.
Don't
But
move in.
there's nothing he can do to prohibit you from coming to visit. All right, we'll address this further on Friday, December 5th.
Okay.
Mr. Thomas, I'm not sure you're gonna get what you're asking for unless you get the whole house back. All right, I'll put you in the waiting room. All right, Marissa Byers has showed up considerably late for her own hearing. It was at 1:15 and she showed up at about 1:45, which I was fearful that she would. Let's see who else we've got here. Galaxy A10, would you take your hat off and unmute your microphone? What's your name? What's your name, sir? You need to unmute your mic.
Pat Rogers, you know my name.
All right, yes,
I'm with April Barton.
yes.
She's currently being evicted.
Yes, stay with me.
Yep, I'm here.
All right. Let's address what we got next.
See, what is it?
Where
6:15?
is April Barton?
Right here. Hold on, sir.
All right, very good. Okay,
615 North Lakeview,
got it.
apartment 101.
All right, Miss Byers, can you hear me?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you were late to your own party, which effectively made everything I did half an hour ago a complete waste of time. But let's address it further. So stick with me. You're
I did
both
call up.
tenants in a landlord-tenant
I'm
proceeding.
sorry.
In each case, your landlord wants to terminate your tenancy and have you move out. You have a right to hire an attorney.
Okay.
If you can't afford an attorney, here's Terry Richmond. Legal aid may be available to assist you, or you could seek other legal advice. You have a right to have the case heard here in St. Joseph County where the property is located. You have a right to demand a jury trial. If you wish to have a jury trial, you must tell me at this first court appearance, or be prepared to file the written demand within 5 days of today and pay the $50 jury demand fee unless the judge waives it for your inability to pay it. You may be able to reach an agreement with the landlord by going through mediation. If both parties are interested in that, you can let the court know and we'll attempt to set it up. Or you
Hey,
may be able
Jeff,
to reach an agreement that would result in a conditional order of dismissal. And that's what we need in the last case. And Ms.
Hey,
Yancey would
Jeff.
help do it. Yes,
Jeffrey.
sir. Yes.
She has lived with me for the last 3 years, so I don't know why this is coming all of a sudden the way she's doing it. She just
All right,
bought
well, let's hold on. Let's find out.
Yeah, let's find out. Because
All right.
she's lived with me for 3 years.
All right, well, hold still. Wait a minute. Miss Byers will come back to your case. We already did it while you weren't here, but we'll revisit it in a minute.
Okay, I'm sorry.
All right, Mr. Rogers, just sit tight.
Okay.
This is filed as a termination of tenancy. The defendant cited the address. It's been a month-to-month tenancy since 2015. I'm
Yep.
not sure what
14,
causes the termination at this point.
Nothing.
No,
Nothing.
stop, Mr. Rogers. Just sit
Okay.
still and listen.
Okay,
Pretend like
I'm sorry, Jeff.
Pretend like you're
I'm
in court. All right.
I'm sorry, Jeff. I'm sorry.
All right. All right. So Ms. Yancey, at this point, your client's simply asking for possession of the property back.
That's correct, Your Honor. They purchased these apartments, and their rent is not being paid, and they did the termination of tenancy.
All right. So the Finrick bought
Okay.
these recently from a previous owner.
Yes.
Her sons were living in it and they stopped paying.
All right. So she doesn't actually live there, but her sons live there?
Yes.
All right. Are they still there?
No, 2 of them moved out. One was with me right now and he's trying to figure out what to do.
All right. Is anybody in the
I have
apartment?
to go get everything out of her apartment though, because her husband passed away and all of her stuff's still there.
Your Honor, I'm going to
Okay.
object to this testimony that's given. He's not even a part of this action. I would ask that Ms. Barton speak.
Okay,
No,
fine.
he's
I'll let her
not. I didn't
speak.
know whether he was included as all others
No,
or.
no, he's not, because he didn't live there.
All right.
How do you know that?
All right. Well, Miss Barton,
Yep,
so your sons were living there, they stopped paying the rent, and now
They were
they're not
paying
there,
the
but
rent.
your stuff is there. Is that right?
yep, all my stuff is still there.
All right, there's a new owner of the apartment complex. Nobody is
Yep.
paying the rent. They want you to get your stuff out so they can clean the apartment up and rent it. People are waiting. There's a waiting list and people all over the county are looking for a place to live. How soon can you get your stuff out of there?
Can you give me at least a week?
Oh, certainly. We could go till December 1st if you can get everything out of there. And then they can.
All right,
All right, so you agree, Miss, it's not Rogers, it's Barton. Miss Barton, to remove all of
Barton.
your stuff?
I'll get all out, Jeff.
December 1st?
Yes.
All right. I agree to that.
All right. That means we don't have to come back, but you just agreed to a consent judgment. If a defendant appears in court without an attorney, the order may not be enforced until 3 business days passed. The judge shall review a proposed consent judgment or order and shall notify of the delay required, but essentially no action can take place for 3 business days. So you agree to vacate. I'm going to show this as a consent, Ms. Yancey, where the defendant agrees to vacate by December 1st.
Thank you.
No money damages. Defendant has until December 1st to appeal this. So you got 10 days to get your stuff out. They're not asking for any money damages at this point. They just want you to move.
Let me talk to him for a second.
If they do
Yeah,
ask
hey.
for money damages, it will be at a later date.
Jeff, is she
Yes,
gonna
sir.
get eviction on her record?
Well, we can dismiss it if you vacate by December 1st.
Please,
Okay,
please, we will be out.
I'll be out.
All right, Miss Yancey, is that all right with you?
I'd have to ask my client. I don't think it'd be a problem, but we want to make sure we have those keys and that that my client is
Yes, you
informed of
need to
it.
turn
instead
in
of
the
just
keys
moving out.
and give your forwarding address within 4 days of moving.
And
All
that
right.
includes the sons too.
What's that?
Does that also include their sons?
Yes, everyone's got to be out.
They're all
Not
out.
just your stuff, everybody has to be out of there. Do you understand?
Yep, I do.
All right. It's to you and all occupants.
Yep.
All right, very good. I hope you can get everything out of there.
I will.
And very
As
good.
long as
All
she's
right, remember,
patient, and I'll
you
be
need to
out by
turn
the
in the keys
1st.
and give it a
Thank you,
forwarding
Yancey.
address within 4 days
Thank you,
of
Jeffrey,
your
and thank you, Yancey.
moving. All right, thank you. I guess
Bye.
people call worse things than Jeffrey, but not supposed to court. All right, Miss Byers, will you light somewhere and we'll address your case?
About that. Hello.
All right, we're gonna revisit file number 252213. I was afraid that this might happen. The defendant might show up
Your Honor,
late.
I called the courthouse on my way home from work and talked to, I think, Officer Bingaman. He said I didn't have court until 1:40.
Well, the notice was a part of the
Well-
summons and it had the time on it as 1:15.
Well, that's why I called.
Yeah, he looked at Fenrick. He looked at the other case is what he did. Anyway,
So I
your case is
apologize.
at
I apologize.
1:15. All right, your landlord wants you to move out. They've asked to terminate your tenancy. And, what's your response?
I was, okay, so I don't mind leaving because I did just find a place to move to. However, I was kind of confused about the situation because the property managers had given me till the 5th of October to pay the 2 weeks that I was behind on my rent. And, or it might have been 3. I would have to look at my papers, but they gave me till the 5th and said if I continued to be current after that, then I could stay. Then I got a notice on my door on the 4th saying that for my notice to quit. I then had tried to give money several times. I still have money to give for payment because it's still a debt that I owe, and they refused my payment every time. They even
Well, let me
started.
explain that. Once they file a motion of terminate of tenancy, they can't accept any money.
And I
Now, you
understand
could
that.
pay them. How soon could you be out?
Well, my apartment or the house I'm gonna be going to, she said I could be there, it'll be ready in a month. So, but that would be great if I could get another month.
Well,
I
the
just don't
law says,
understand. I would just wish that I would have been given a chance because they told me the 5th. If they wouldn't have told me the 5th, I could have even paid them sooner than the 5th. I just don't understand why they changed it and then put the notice to quit on my door on the 4th. And what I have never verbalized in the past is that I was taking care of my friend. She had terminal brain cancer and passed away. So I took a little bit of time off work, which the property managers knew that. And that's why I fell behind a little bit and I couldn't get a better job or anything because I had to take care of her until she passed away. And now I'm got a better job and everything. And then they just turn around and change their mind to the 4th. And I don't understand it, but
I don't know the answer to that. Ms. Yancey, you got any response?
Well, Your Honor, it was significantly behind and they did the termination of tenancy. She's known since the beginning of October that she needed to, be out by then. She was given a month from the September date, actually.
it
So,
wasn't
Yeah,
significantly
well, she
behind. I
got
was
a notice
behind
to
too.
quit on September 4th.
right,
And 30 days from that would have been October 5th.
right.
So,
So we're going on 6 to 7 weeks of notice that to be out, if that, and then you include the 4 weeks of the actual from when the notice was served. So it's been about 11 weeks that she's known she needed to get out.
Then I contacted legal aid to see where I stand in the situation and what I could do. They did instruct me that the only I could stand on at this time would be the fact that they had given me till the 5th to pay the amount owed, which was not significant. It was just a couple weeks due to my friend passing away. And
now who
so
is
it's
they?
fine.
Who's this person that told you had until the 5th to pay?
The property manager,
Who is who?
I think her name is Melissa. I'm not sure what her name is, but I've tried contacting her, and Chris, I've tried contacting Carissa too with no response, and I understand why, because legally, because legal aid had instructed me as to why. However, I just still am confused about the situation, but I do understand why they didn't take my money as well,
All
because
right,
of
so
but
on
I did find
September
another place.
4th, they give you a notice to quit, which is a termination of tenancy notice to quit. So as of September 4th, they weren't allowed to take any money.
But they had told me in text that I had till the 5th of September to pay it.
Did you show up on before the 5th to pay money?
No, not before the 5th, because she said that if I gave money on the 5th and stayed current, I could stay, which was a Friday, and I was planning on paying that. But that doesn't matter. Now I did find another place to live, however, so because I just don't want to cause them problems or me any more problems because this has been ongoing for a while. And I mean, they don't spray my apartment for bugs or anything. They spray everybody else's, but not mine. So I'm done with being here. I just would like a little bit of time, and the apartment will be clean and it'll be ready for the next tenant. They won't have to worry about any of that. I do keep a clean home and stuff, and they won't even have to do any work really for anything on my apartment, but I just need time, and I will be out. I just can't have eviction on my record either, you know? So I do agree to move. It's just a lot too much for me
All
right
right,
now
well,
to deal with
there
her.
are some issues. They don't want to go another 6 weeks without collecting any rent from you. You want to go till the end of the year.
Well,
To get through.
no, I don't want to go to the end of the year. She said it would be ready in about a month, and I talked to her almost a week ago. So,
All right, well, the law says I have to adjourn the matter. Now, Christine, this case could be appropriate for conditional order of dismissal. If she would agree to vacate by a certain date, you could do a conditional order of dismissal, which would not put an eviction on a record. So I'll let you guys discuss that. I'm gonna set another date. The law says I have to adjourn it 7 days. You mentioned, had you talked to legal aid?
yes, I did talk to legal aid.
All right, well, you may have a defense in here. If you got a text that said you had until October 5th to pay it, in the meantime, they served a notice to quit for termination of tenancy, you got mixed signals. Then when you went to pay, they wouldn't take your money, which it could be an issue. But at this point, you want to be out anyway.
Yeah.
But I'm not here next Friday because nobody's here. It's the day after Thanksgiving. So the next available day we have for court is December 1st. And I've already got a bunch of stuff set in there. I don't think I have you in there. And yes.
I don't have anything there. We just want to do it as soon as possible because then she's gonna have another 10 days after that. So that's the concern.
Yes, well, that's why the case would be appropriate for you guys to discuss a move out date and a conditional order of dismissal. But I'm gonna set this for, I've already got that filled for Monday, December 10th.
December 1st.
December 1st, excuse me, I'm losing my marbles here. December 1st at 2:30. I'm losing my marbles over how crowded that afternoon already is. And then you would get 10 days from that day, which would take you to December 1st. Maybe your apartment will be ready by then, but I'm going to put you in a breakout room with Ms. Yancey and Ms. Rarick, and you can discuss the terms of moving out. And perhaps they could then do what's called a conditional order of dismissal. You would agree to move, they'd file the order. If you don't move, they could ask for a writ of eviction, but it wouldn't put an eviction on your record. Some of the law firms, Mr. Bradshaw's firm does this a lot, and it's a benefit for the landlord and the tenant. It was actually originated in Kalamazoo County, so they use it a lot, but there's a form for it. Ms. Rarick and Ms. Yancey, are you on to talk with this tenant in the breakout room?
Yes, Your Honor, and then we'll need to return because we have a 2:15 in front of you.
Yes, I'll see you in a little bit. I'll go do a couple more. All right, when the button says join, please join. It either way, unless it's somehow resolved, we're going to be back here on December 1st at 2:30.
Okay,
and
thank you,
show
Your
up
Honor.
on time. Don't call the bailiff out front and ask what time your hearing is.
Okay. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. We were here last week on the 14th, and we determined at that point that we were in pretty good shape. I think we were at $148 and either 19 or 13 cents. What's the
19.
status here today, Ms. Richmond?
Okay, she owes $483.84 in rent, $184.35 in court costs. That's through the 27th of November. with a total of $668.19.
What
Leslie-
happened is 10
Pardon?
more days passed.
Yeah. So Leslie and I talked this morning, and her husband's gonna drop off some rent either today or Monday.
Yeah.
We decided on the best option would be to.
Ms. Talbert, you agree with those numbers?
Yes.
All right, I think you're gonna get caught up. He's at work right now, isn't he?
Yes.
Let's get some more stands.
I don't know.
All right, 483.84 through November 27th.
I don't think they're there unless they're in the court. Doesn't look like they're in the courtroom either.
184.35 for a total of 668.19. With weekly rent like this, it goes up each week. But I think you're gonna be fine. You've been a tenant there for a long time. You had good relationship with your landlord. You got 10 days to pay that. That would due by December 1st.
Okay.
No money judgment is entered at this time. Partial payment will not prevent the writ of eviction. Appeal date is also December 1st. Now, Miss Richmond well knows this. She does not have to evict you on December 1st. She could agree to work with you to get caught up on this rent. She actually has 56 days from today to ask for the writ of eviction. So you've done a good job of making substantial payments. You're just a little bit behind. And then what that does is it puts in $184.35 worth of court costs.
Yeah.
All right, I want you to stay in contact with your landlord,
Yes.
and you've been doing that. Ms. Talbert, do you have any questions?
No, Your Honor.
All right, you're good to go. Thank you.
Okay.
Who do you want to do next?
Well, Brittany is here. I'm not sure who
Who's
that
Brittany?
is. I think it's on Miss Yancey's.
Miss Diane
Yeah, that's-
Pearson is here with us.
Who is?
Diane Pearson.
All right, we'll address that one. That was set for 2. We got behind. This is Terry and Larry Richmond versus Diane Pearson and all others, 1113 4th Street. It's filed as a demand for non-payment of rent. Ms. Pearson, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, and no one appears to be here on behalf of Cindy Brewster.
Larry.
Brittany is here. And Diane is here. Christine, did we make any progress with Miss Byers?
We did, Your Honor. We've got an agreement. We're gonna do we'd like to just do that today so we don't have to use the December 1st and we can just do a conditional.
What are the terms?
She will.
If you guys would wait a minute, I'm gonna revert
Yeah.
back to a previous case. Return to Fenrick versus,
Back to that other case. We're going back to that other case.
which one are we on?
This is Byers.
Where'd I put it? Well, I've only got so many places for it. I don't know where it is.
Oh, this is the one you had already entered and she was late, so maybe it went back.
Yes, I remember the case. Here we are. I'm losing it, but I'm not that losing it. That was only 8 minutes ago. But it is entitled, Finrick LLC versus Marissa Byers and all others. Miss Byers showed up late. We made a long record, and then the parties were put in a breakout. And you discussed a conditional order of dismissal. What are the terms?
So the terms are that she will be out by midnight on December 11th. And she will turn in the keys. And as long as she does that, then we will do the dismissal.
With no money owed, then you said.
There's no money judgment requested.
Does that foreclose your client's right to go after money judgment?
They're not going to go after, yes, they don't want to go
All
after.
right. All right, then that's in your benefit. And if you do that, they will dismiss. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
And then we need the language in there, Your Honor, as well, that if she's not out, that we can request immediate eviction or immediate writ.
Yes, that's in the form.
Thank
If you don't move out, they can ask for the writ and have the sheriff put you out.
That won't be a problem.
All right, Ms. Yancey will submit a conditional order of dismissal.
Absolutely not.
All right, Ms. Byers, you're good to go.
All right, Your Honor, thank you.
I'm just going to mute myself and turn my camera off.
All right, very good. I've got to advise the next two folks of their rights. We're behind, but it's not end of the world. Ms. Pearson and Ms. Brittany, do you understand that you're here on a landlord-tenant proceeding? One is a demand for non-payment of rent, and I believe the other is both are demand for non-payment of rent. As such, you're entitled to hire an attorney to represent you in this matter. If you cannot afford an attorney, you could ask legal aid if they would be willing to represent you, or you can seek other legal representation. You have a right to have the matter heard here in St. Joseph County where the property is located. You have a right to demand a jury trial. If you wish to have a jury trial, you must tell me at this first court appearance or file a written demand within 5 days using the jury demand state form and pay the $50 jury demand fee unless the court waives it for your inability to pay it. If your landlord has asked you to be evicted from a residential property because you haven't paid rent, you may be able to get assistance from the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services, Community Action Agency, Neighborhoods, Inc., or if you're a veteran, you may be eligible for some veterans housing benefits. We sent that information to you with the original summons packet. You may be able to reach an agreement with the landlord by going through mediation. If both parties are interested, the court can help set that up. Or you may be able to reach an agreement which would result in a conditional order of dismissal, as we just did in the last case, and the attorneys or the court would help prepare that. All right, Ms. Pearson is there at the Richmond's headquarters. Rent is $750 per month. Ms. Richmond, what's the status here?
Okay, through November, she owes $1,932.77. She's got court costs of $177.27 with a total of $2,110.24. She's getting help from DHS and she's gone to Neighborhood Inc. So hopefully they'll help her.
All right, Ms. Pearson, that's quite a bit of rent. Of course, on December 1st, another month's rent is going to be due. So add $750 to that number, $740. So it's gonna be close to $3,000. The law says you're entitled to have this matter adjourned at least 7 days. You are in the process of seeking financial assistance, which I think is gonna come assist here. So I'm gonna actually bump this out a little farther, 2 weeks. Now, let me tell you some things you need to know. Partial payment will not prevent the writ of eviction. So let's say they give you $2,500 and you still owe 32, another 800 or so. You have to pay the whole thing in order to cure this. Next Friday, we're gone. The following Friday is the 5th.
I'm there on the 5th.
Yes, let's take a look. We're gonna be busy that day. That's the first Friday of the month. We've been very busy.
Okay.
But I think you're already scheduled to be here.
Yep, 1:35.
Yeah, let's set this for 1:40 on December 5th.
Okay.
Now, Miss Pearson, there's a holiday in here. So there's only a couple business days next week. So you need to stay in contact with your landlord and your funding sources. Again, partial payment will not prevent the writ of eviction. So you're in contact with your landlord, you're right there. You wish to get caught up on this. And remember, December's rent is also going to be due. So add another $740 to this. So we're going to revisit this just like we did today, and you're free to come up to their office or go to Big Pine Key and zoom in. And we'll address it there. Miss Person, do you have any questions?
No.
All right, you stay in contact with DHS and Neighborhood Inc. And we will address this at 1:40, hopefully, on December the 5th. All right, you're good to go. Now we have another Richmond case, which is set for 1:55. We're a whole half an hour behind. That is entitled Terry and Larry Richmond versus Cindy Brewster. Cindy Brewster is not here. This is a termination of tenancy because of a health hazard. Defendant was personally served. What's the status here, Ms. Richmond?
I don't know. I'll let Larry and Lydia talk. I don't think they've cleaned anything up yet.
The house is a fire trap, and I've been after them to clean it up, and they just fight us. Lydia went over there and did take a truckload of cardboard out to help, but then they won't let us back in again. That's how this all started, because they've rented from us for how many years, Terry?
26.
26 years. So we've done everything we can do to help them, but like last year there, we got turned into DHS. The kids, there was no heat, and we went over there with a furnace man, and the whole basement was full of gallon milk cartons. So this is what we're fighting with these people. We're trying to help them all we can, but they just won't help themselves.
Well, they aren't here. They have 10 days to vacate or they're subject to being evicted. This reminds me of another property you had over on Canal, or one of those where you had to
8-yard dumpster trailers out of there. Yeah.
Jimmy Buffett has a song called Ringling Ringling, where there's a beer can pile that's 27 years old. A lot of heartache and tears and 27 years of beers. There's a lot of heartache and tears and 26 years of accumulated trash. Let's see who this is. iPhone.
Place that Jimmy Buffett hung out over there that I took you to. On Ocean. Well, it was Louis' backyard.
Somebody just logged in his iPhone. Who am I speaking with?
This is Michaela Gales.
All right. Yes, it puts you guys in danger of zoning violations from the city. They were personally served. Who else is there?
Her daughter, her granddaughter, her boyfriend. It's
Swap house.
you to get into to walk through the dining room. It's probably 15 foot by 12, and it's just a path. I mean, it's just a mess. And I tried to do everything I can. They're just hoarders, yeah.
Well, they have the unpleasant news that they have 10 days to vacate. That would be by December 1st. No money judgment is issued. This house is going to need an overhaul.
Yeah.
Have you been talking about Jimmy Buffett? You been to Louis' backyard?
Yes, I have.
I love that place.
Well, I like the rest. They have a great brunch, but the little deck out back, it's kind of hard to find if you don't know where it is. But I like it a lot. In fact, I like it so much, I'm going to go there in February.
There you go.
You'll probably
all
be
right. All right. That finishes our business, does it not, Terry?
Yes, it does.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, well, they're at an unpleasant surprise that they have a termination of tenancy coming on December 1st, but they weren't here to address it. So
I've tried to do everything I can to work with them. They've been there forever, but it's a health hazard, what it is.
well, as you know, you have 56 days from the day to serve the writ. So maybe something could happen, but you're going to get in trouble with the city. And I know you've got your own concerns.
The city understands. When they knew what they just go address it. So they were fine. We put a new furnace in and got them up and going.
How about the furnace where they didn't tell us?
All right.
Yeah, the
Well,
furnace wasn't working. They never even told us they were heating it with space heaters, if you can imagine that.
Which is a fire hazard of the first order.
That's where I'm at. Yeah. Okay, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
Have a good weekend.
Okay. All right, so we're back to V squared. We're behind somewhat. This matter was set for 2:10. It's now 2:28, which puts us 18 minutes behind. But Brittany Hughes is here. I did advise her of her rights as a tenant. This was also a termination of tenancy.
No, this is a non-payment.
Oh, this is right. This is a non-payment of rent. So you've given me an updated version of that. Rent through November is $1,025. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And other money due is the late fees, $168.70 and something else. Court cost of $160.29 for a total of $1,353.99. Ms. Hughes, what's your position?
I paid up until November's rent, and I just got a new job because where I was at, they cut our COVID pay and took me down almost $300 from what I was making. And so I'm working on paying up this month. I've got $200 I can put toward this month.
Miss Yancey amended the judgment because you'd made a substantial payment, which reduced the amount due.
And just for Miss Hughes's benefit, because she doesn't have that breakdown sheet, that other cost was $40 for the November late fee, 60 for the water bill, and then there's 68 or 68.70 on a electric bill. So she has been.
All right, that's what that was, an
Yes,
electric bill.
just so she's aware of what that is, but she did
All
make
right.
a payment, and so I submitted a new judgment this morning to show that that payment was made.
Okay, I just
All
got.
right,
paid
so
today.
that figure you gave me includes her payment.
Yes. So we're just looking at November and then the water bill and the electric and then our costs for having to pursue this.
Well, Ms. Hughes, the law requires I adjourn this matter at least 7 days. And we can't go to next Friday because we're not here. So we've been using December 1st. And Christine, did I put you on the 1st or the 5th?
You did December 1st at 2:30, which now we don't need to use that.
All right, why don't we go with that? December 1st at 2:30. Ms. Hughes, on December 1st, another month's rent is going to be due. And so consider that into the equation. Do you live there by yourself or is there somebody else there?
It's me, my wife, and our daughter.
Do they have any source of income?
Yeah, but her income goes toward all the other bills.
Okay. Well, it sounds like you want to maintain the tenancy. You've made some significant payments. You're ready to make more payments.
I've been trying.
All right, well, I have to respect that. But we'll address this further. Now, bear in mind, December's rent is going to become due also.
Yeah.
And the only thing that'll cure this is paying the entire amount of the rent. It's very hard to find a place to move to, so I'm sure you want to keep this tenancy. You did a good job of logging in. You were on a timely manner. I can hear you and see you. So we're going to do the same thing on Monday, December 1st at 2:30.
Okay.
Do you have any questions?
So I owe what before then or by then?
You owe $1,353.99.
And
And
then
then you'll owe another $1,025 for December. So the total is going to be about $2,600.
Okay.
All right, I'll see you in 10 days.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your
All right,
Honor.
thank you, Ms. Yancey.
Yeah, Your Honor.
Ms. Rarick. All right, I'm not sure where we are, but we're on the home stretch. We got Mr. Gold here with us. We got Ms.
Good
Lewis.
afternoon,
with
Your
us.
Honor.
We got Mr. Gales with us. Good afternoon, Mr. Gold.
How was your weekend last weekend? You had 11 people say you're going to have a good weekend. I hope it was great.
Well, the wind was blowing in the right direction and I raked all my leaves one way and so I guess it was pretty good. The Lions looked absolutely terrible, but other than that, it was all right.
One
All
out of
right,
two ain't
let's
bad.
return to this matter, which is Jacob Gold versus Marty McWaters. Mr. McWaters passed away a couple of years ago. He was a nice guy, but he had some struggles like a lot of our people do. And so this is a land contract forfeiture. It's not even exactly clear to me who's in the property. If I understand it, Mr. Gold would be interested in executing some sort of a new agreement with whoever is there. Mr. Gold, what else do you know at this point?
All I know is that they are supposedly good friends of his.
Well, I'm gonna grant your request for a land contract foreclosure, but that gives them 90 days to redeem it. Guess what needs to happen is
Give me
you
6
need
months.
to, Oh, it's more than 50%. So 180 days to redeem it. Yeah, you check 6 months. We came up with a figure of 3,759.56. Is that still accurate?
I figured like this, Your Honor, especially you tell me that he's deceased. He's not coming to pay it.
Yes.
The amount really doesn't make too much of a difference. Pardon that. Got to put my phone on mute. Yeah, I don't think the amount really makes a difference. The total balance currently is 2194.73 plus 284, approximately $3,000. And if we add the late fees, you have an additional 20 times a good number of years. My 6 years.
That's how we got 3759 plus 3759.
Times, I put it down somewhere. I thought I wrote it down originally.
3,856.38.
Yeah, I think the number really doesn't make too much of a difference. I'm fine with that number. If someone actually came to pay it, we just add it to the balance in the contract and let them continue on. If it paid it off, it paid it off. It didn't, then we'd have the fees on that.
Well, I knew Mr. McWaters a little bit, and he's got people that cared about him. Several people called and said, hey, don't you remember Marty's not with us anymore? And I didn't know, but all right, well, you got a tiger by the tail here. You've got a mortgage foreclosure. Somebody has 180 days to redeem it, or you can take the property back. What I think is going to happen is somewhere along the line, you're going to enter into either a rental agreement or a new purchase agreement with whoever's in there. But somebody's in there with the nice benefit of not having to pay any rent.
Yeah. Yeah, very much so.
But they are probably paying utilities and keeping heat in the place.
Yes, I've been to see them. The place is heated. I don't know, space heater or whatnot. It is heated. It's an interesting place. It's an old trailer. Never gets better. It only gets
there are a
worse.
few of these left out on Ash Road. There were a lot of substandard single wide trailers out there. One by one, they've been removing them out. The township took some of the property and they were going to put veterans housing out there, some small homes. It's a beautiful geographical location.
Too bad this place is right across the street.
It's pretty.
It's across the street from the lake, right? I believe it's across. There's a lake over there, I believe.
Well, there's Noah Lake, which is over there, and then there's the St. Joe River.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I've signed your order.
Appreciate that.
It's nice to make your acquaintance.
Same here.
And I'll be here for a while longer anyway. Let's see where this goes. But somebody has 180 days to redeem this. Otherwise, you can pursue the foreclosure.
Yeah.
All right.
So in 180 days, we'll apply for the writ unless someone actually comes and pays it off.
All right.
Appreciate your honor. You have a wonderful weekend. And if it was good last week, may the leaves keep blowing away from your house. Because by my house, both neighbors have big trees and they blow towards me from both sides.
Yeah, it depends on which way the wind blows, but I
don't know. By me, it blows towards me every year.
I was tempted to just let it go, but I don't want to stay on good terms with my neighbors. So I did get it on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. I got the last of it Monday night. All right. Thank you. Maybe I'll see you again.
What do you do with the snow? I figure God put it there. God will take it away, but that doesn't always help, especially when you're married.
If we wait long enough, yes. Okay. I need to be one of those people that goes south for the winter.
Yeah, that wouldn't be a bad idea.
Mr.
Honor, you have a wonderful weekend. Nice meeting you. Hopefully I'll see you in 6 months.
All right. Thank you.
Have a good weekend.
All right. Michaela Gales is here. Oh, the lights are flickering. Hope we don't go dark. And Roxanne Lewis is here. We were here last week on the 14th. This matter was set for 2:30, so we're not too terribly behind. We determined that this was a termination of tenancy case. The rent would have been substantial. over $6,500. Ms. Gales, the Lewises want you to move out of this property in White Pigeon. We talked about it last week. What's your position? Ms. Gales, can you hear me? Maybe I lost her. Here's iPhone. All right, are you Michaela Gales?
Yes.
All right. We were here last week. Your landlord, Ms. Lewis, is here, and she wants you to move. What's your position?
Like I told you, last week, I was paying through Cash App, and at one point she said she wasn't getting a bunch of payments. And then I paid her this last August rent, and then we didn't have water almost all of September. Due to that, I had talked to the city and they told me that I needed to put my months of rent into a different account, but I could hold it from her due to the danger of not having water in my home. And that is what I did. Um, I had texted her a few days over and over asking about the water, asking if there was an update. She told me that it was on the city, it was nothing she could control. I then went to the city to ask questions because I couldn't, my house was not livable. I didn't have water. I was then informed that they could not come here to do anything because the apartment under me was infested in bugs. Um, my landlord did not tell me that at all. And they also told me that I should have known that. So I then asked Roxanne again what was going on, and she told me that she was waiting on the city, and I didn't hear anything back for a while. Um, Ever since we moved in, our water has been black and brown since we have lived here. There's 5 other apartments along with me that have multiple issues with their apartments, with the water. Nothing has been taken care of. About a year ago, an incident happened here, and the cops were here, and they said something that I didn't have a railing, and they were going to inform her. I still, to this day, do not have a railing up my stairs. While living here, I think I've seen Roxanne maybe once in my apartment, and that's when they were coming to check the smoke alarms. Um, which they had told her that we didn't have the smoke alarms that were needed in here. I still to this day do not. Um, Last week you told me to reach out to the helping aid, and I did do that. But I also work 8 to 5 Monday through Friday, so it's hard for me to try to get back in contact with her. I have called her a couple times, left some voicemails, and I have not heard anything back.
All right, so you're telling me how terrible the apartment is and all the reasons why you don't like it there. All I can see is the top of your head. She's asking you to move, and she's not asking for any money. She simply wants to terminate the tenancy. The notice to quit was served on you on September 8th. Now, you've raised issues regarding the covenant of habitability. If she was trying to collect rent, your rent would be abated because there was a period of time we didn't have water. The truth of the matter is you'd like to move if you had somewhere to move to. You're telling me why this is so terrible. The water's bad. There's bugs downstairs. There's no railing. There's other issues, but you don't want to move out. Right now, no rent has been paid since September, October, and November, and we're about to be into December. Now, you do have a right to take your rent and place it in escrow for habitability issues. Nobody ever exactly does it right, but there is a way to do it. They've served a notice to quit on you in September 8th, saying they wanted you to move, and you didn't. So they filed this matter, I think in October. So what do you want to do? Do you wish to stay there?
For now, yeah. I mean, I can't get ahead when I am, again, I have no water for almost a month. I'm then having to pay to travel to even shower. I can't cook food at my own home, so I have to travel to do that. It was not livable for almost a month here. And so all the money that I should have been saving to put into something else, I'm still spending because this place is not livable.
All right, Ms. Lewis, I'm sure you have a response to all that. What's your response?
Well, most of it's not true, but on September 10th, I did text Michaela, and the city of White Pigeon was willing to come out and do a water pressure test. And she never texted me back and has not texted me back since the beginning of September. And the water issue was something to do with the city. And they said until they get new lines put in, it's going to be an issue. None of the other tenants have any issues. In fact, the tenant that she's talking about with the bug infestation, that is a lie. She's actually paid up through January rent. So.
Is there water there now?
Yes, there's water, and there has been water. It was for a few days that we were working on it and the city was working on it, that they had pressure issues. And as far as the brown water, I have text messages. I've fought with the city. They said until they do some of their internal repairs on the city street or the city water lines, that it's just something we have to deal with. So we've put in an iron unit and we're working on a water softener so that we can help with the issue. But unfortunately, city water, it just is something we can't control.
All right, Ms. Gales. They gave you a notice to quit in September. I gave you until October. You didn't move. You've raised a bunch of habitability issues which go to payment of rent. They're not asking for rent. They're asking you to move. You tell me how bad it is. And I don't believe well, I don't know if you're currently having to go somewhere to shower and all of that, then you do need to get out of here. You have until December 1st to vacate or you're subject to being evicted. No money judgment is ordered. I'm not ordering that you pay any money. The issue is, as I said, people don't have anywhere to move to, so they don't like it here. But this is the proceeding which actually forces people to move. You have 10 days from today to get out, or she can ask for a writ of eviction where the sheriff comes and puts your stuff out in the street. That's not fun for anybody. When you do move, you need to turn in your keys and give your forwarding address in writing within 4 days of your moving. Now, this will be 4 months with no rent. September, October, November, December. This is not a money judgment. It is a possession judgment. When you turn in your keys and give your forwarding address, you can apply your security deposit to unpaid rent. But if she's going to sue you for money damages, there will be issues about those things you talked about. The days you didn't have water, the quality of the water, those would go to issues regarding the abatement of the rent. But at this point, if it's as bad as you say it is, you need to get out. And I didn't pull this number out of a hat. It's what the statute says. You get 10 days from this day. We've already adjourned it 7 days, but in point of fact, they've asked you to move since September 8th, and now you have until December 1st. You do also have 10 days to appeal this. Let me repeat, they're not asking for money here. They're asking you to move. If they do ask for money, it will be in a separate hearing regarding money damages. And then all those issues regarding the abatement of the rent will become more relevant. But if it's as bad as you say it is, you need to vacate. She indicated that the rent was, at that point, $6,400 at $900 per month. By the time you move, your rent's going to be $7,000 in arrears. And that's not good for anybody. All right, you have until December 1st to vacate or you're subject to being evicted. All right, that is what it is. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Thank
All
you.
right, thank you.